It's dropping off. Tomorrow goes back to a minimal chance, 20, 30% or so. Temperature's going to be on the hot side again tomorrow and Friday and Saturday, and possibly that heat advisory, but nonetheless, be careful outdoors. The heat index will be jumping up there quite a bit, possibly resulting in some ill effects to you if you're not careful. It'll feel like 105 to 108. Rain chances next to none to help you out. The actual highs of the day will be into the middle to upper 90s, both tomorrow as well as Friday. The 9th Annual Jewel of Madisonville Gala and Auction, Saturday, July 23rd at the Castine Center, Mandeville. It's a wonderful evening of fun with food from over 50 of St. Tammany's best restaurants, dance music by Swing 101, silent and live auctions, including LSU and Saints packages. Get raffle tickets to the gala or online at 501auctions.com, St. Anselm, for your chance to win a 2016 $36,000 GMC Acadia, donated by Rainbow North Shore Buick GMC. More info at stansonmadisonville.org. Ralph Sanji, WGSO.
Of the United States of America.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on...
You think you own has been lent to you by a predator with a monopoly on terror. There is no competitor. America's a dead nation getting deader. Supine to its sovereign. You cannot audit your creditor. They ship the drugs and run the prisons, etc. You can't find one mainstream newspaper editor. If you get upset, who you gonna write a letter to? Your congressman has been vetted, and so has your senator. The inventors of this creature are fortuitous. They've owned you off from birth for centuries. Ain't nothing new to this. The truth is just too illustrious and luminous for folks to know who they can trust and who Lucius is, or any other Rockefeller Foundation. 1,000 points of light, non-governmental organization. All that tyranny could be summarily dead in one fell swoop if you end the Fed.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Battle of New Orleans Radio, right here on 990 AM WGSO in the heart of the Crescent City. I'm the host, Nathan Lawson, along with my great co-host. Go ahead.
The J to the E to the R to the O to the M.
Yeah. How you doing? How you doing, Jerome?
I'm doing good. I'm calm. I'm a little reserved tonight. You know what I'm saying? Because last week we was hot.
Yeah. Well, we can get hot and heated, come the second hour.
Yeah.
Then we have our other co-host, Caleb Hitt, on Skype there in Ohio.
What's up, Caleb?
How you doing, Caleb? Look, we have a great guest. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Caleb.
I'm the hit man.
There he is.
I'm not taking any psychotropic drugs though. Don't worry.
That's
Can
good.
I get that in writing?
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. Look, we have a great guest tonight. And
no guarantees here.
That's right. And we're not going to waste any time in bringing this guest on because time is valuable.
Are you bragging right now?
What you mean?
Because you got like a great guest?
Man, look, we get a lot of great guests on this show.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, this must be a really good guest.
I'm going to be honest. Yeah, I'm really excited about this guest. So look, without further ado, let's bring this guest on. He is Mr. Jeff Berwick of the Dollar Vigilante.com. And, I have his bio pulled up, but I would just rather let him maybe introduce himself and go into some of his background. How you doing, Jeff? Welcome to the program.
I'm doing good. Thank you.
Man, we really appreciate it. I know you're a busy man. I watch a lot of your videos and look at your website on a weekly basis. So I know you're very, very busy, man. So I really appreciate your time tonight.
And, Jeff, you seem very popular, so we're glad to have you tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jeff, I first ran across you last year when I seen your Shemitah video, and it was unbelievable. I must have shared it 20, 30 times.
Do you have to be Jewish to pronounce that? Can you say it again?
Shemitah?
For everybody who doesn't know, because you can see it written.
I know it's difficult. I've seen.
Jeff, how would you pronounce it?
I'm sure I'm saying it wrong too. I have no idea how to pronounce it.
Please pronounce it for us.
I say Shemitah.
Okay,
that's close
Nathan,
enough.
you got the mic, brother.
All right, man. I appreciate that. Thanks, Jerome. Look, Jeff, if you could, please, because we're familiar with this and many of our listeners are familiar with your work. Could you, go into your background and what brought you to this point today? And then after that, maybe we'll get into the Shemitah and some of your predictions.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know where you want to start. I was born in 1970. It was really cold.
Where?
I was born in Canada.
That's going way back. There you go.
My favorite people from Canada is the Terrence and Phillip. right? Am I wrong?
I like
But
that.
anyway, Berwick's in the house.
Yeah, so I'll fast forward a bit. I started an internet company. It was worth $240 million. It was the top financial website in Canada at the top of the tech bubble, and then it crashed, and then it was worth nothing. So I wondered what happened. So someone passed me the book, The Creature from Jekyll Island, and I went, why didn't someone give me this book earlier? So I knew how all this stuff worked, all these bubbles caused by the Federal Reserve and the central banks. Then I bought a sailboat, tried to sail around the world, sank it in El Salvador, kept going to 100 different countries.
Wait a minute. Bring us back to okay. We talked about. You said, but you mentioned the bubble, like that kind of stuff. You should have learned in civics class, whatever country you're in. But you were riding this high, and then you sank. What? What happened?
I sank my boat in El Salvador. That had nothing to do with the Federal Reserve.
And how did? Okay, I got you. I mean, because it seemed like the story was riding a high, and then all of a sudden it was sinking. But go ahead.
Yeah, it could have been the Federal Reserve's fault. It probably is some way. Yeah, I just kept traveling and looking into this stuff. And then I really began to understand Austrian economics. Then I saw that the housing bubble was going to collapse in the U.S. And then once it collapsed, I said, okay, I got to start telling people about this stuff because I learned a lot over the last 10 years. And so I started up the Dollar Vigilante in 2010. And my tagline about me is I'm an anarcho-capitalist, a freedom fighter against mankind's two biggest enemies, the state and the central banks.
And that's Jefferson Davis. I mean, not Jefferson Davis. Thomas Jefferson and some of those founding fathers of America, who a lot of people claim was Illuminati led, but they always said that that's the enemy of freedom, the central bank and the central government. And Thomas Jefferson said every few years you should put the people's feet to the fire who are in charge. And it seems like you did.
Well, no, I haven't actually burnt them or killed them.
Hey,
I
hold on,
was
man.
wondered about that quote, though. Isn't that funny, right?
Yeah.
So they start up this thing, and they're like, yeah, about every 10 or 15 years, you got to go through this bloody battle to get rid of it.
It bothered me when I read that because I was so like into American culture, and I was like, I remember when I first read it as obviously a young person, it was like, wait a minute, but I let it go. And now as an adult, I kind of get it. And what you're talking about and what you've been doing seems to be on that same line.
Well, I'd go way further. I'd say let's not start it at all. Let's not have a government. Let's not have a central bank, and then we don't have to go through all this. But they haven't gone through it for a while now in the U.S., and now we're seeing just how out of control it can get if you don't stop them.
Yeah, it's the central banks really, pull the strings for everything, and everybody's so wrapped up in this presidential election at this point. But until we remove and stop the central banking system, it doesn't matter. We could put in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and I think it would be pretty hard to change the system.
Nathan, before I let Jeff Duff talk, do you think after what he said from what the idea of Thomas Jefferson and what the founding fathers maybe thought of to now, what you just said, does it seem like it's a runaway train at this point?
Yeah, I mean,
because it's hard to stop a runaway train. I mean, I've seen the movie, but
well, we should have elected Ron Paul in 2012.
Oh God. Oh, my God. Thank you for saying that. But anyway, we got Jeff Berwick in the house.
Yeah, I don't know how to follow that up.
Hey, bro, nobody could do what you're doing out there, bro. I watch a lot of your stuff, and Nathan's a big fan. And we got Baby Doll in the house, and she's been watching your stuff for years. But we want you to continue and tell us about pick up where you left off.
Well, let me see Baby Doll. She's the only one not on camera. It's the only one I might be interested
Dude, well, we figured that, because Baby Doll's a bit provocative. And, Baby Doll, you want to come over here on Skype for me real quick? But anyway, trust me, it's a state of mind.
Well, it sounds like by her name that she sounds cute anyway. But yeah, going back to the getting rid of the central banking system, it was actually Rothschild who started the whole central banking system who said, let me control the money and I care not who makes the laws. So you're absolutely right. If we can actually get rid of central banking, we can very quickly get rid of these giant governments. And that's why actually Bitcoin is so important at this moment in time.
So Nathan, I'm going to let you talk to him because I know you got a lot to say about this. But Bitcoin, do you consider yourself one of the biggest Bitcoin purveyors of all? I mean, because you at the forefront, right?
I don't know what the word purveyor means.
It's just somebody who kind of like pushed it to the fore, to make
promoter.
Yes,
Promoter
yes,
is a better
yes.
word.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was definitely one of them out there. I was on Fox Business and all that. They let me on before they knew what I was going to say. And I was on with, what's his name, on Fox Business, Stuart Varney.
Oh, yeah.
And,
is it Jim Barney? Or is it Stuart Barney? Stuart Barney, you're right.
I think. Yeah.
Barney Rubble was really cool for the Flintstones.
And he goes, but no one knows who owns Bitcoin. And I'm like, well, who owns the Federal Reserve? And he goes, well, you know who owns the Federal Reserve. I said, no, I don't. I don't think anyone does.
Well, yeah, why don't you tell me? Yeah.
Yeah, I said, do you know? And that's when like my mic went off. And
Whoa!
I was
And yet you probably got a lot of credibility at that point because you got to figure because that was you answered one of my big questions about Bitcoin. That's what I was gonna say. Well, who owns it? Who's really running it? And then boom, you throw it right back at him.
Yeah, it actually didn't get much attention because no one watches Fox Business, but that's good. Actually,
You got Nathan's attention.
Yeah. Well, can you describe yourself, Jeff, as an anarcho-capitalist for our listeners, who aren't familiar with that term? Can you describe that term?
Sure. It's just two words, obviously. Anarcho, which means anarchist. The word anarchy is a Greek word, which means an without archy ruler. I don't think I should be, and I don't think anyone should be violently ruled by anyone. If you want to have a ruler, that's fine. If you want to voluntarily choose a ruler, that's fine, but don't force it on me. So that's why I call myself an anarchist. And it's actually one of the most peaceful philosophies in the world. It essentially just means that I don't want to aggress against you, and I don't want you to aggress against me. As you brought up Jesus earlier, it's actually just a play on what he said with the golden rule: do unto others as you want them to do unto you. So that's the anarchy side. And then the capitalist side, and that's another word that's been skewed a lot by the media. All capitalism means is voluntary free trade amongst people. And that's why we have everything we have today. That's why we're all on these microphones and all these lights, so we can talk over the internet in real time for basically free through capitalism. So capitalism itself is also a very beautiful philosophy of just voluntary trade, and it creates the best world that we can have possible. So the two combined actually will create the best world possible, and we're on our way to doing it, I think.
So the Sex Pistols had it right when they said, "Your future dream is a shopping spree."
Yeah, we try to bring up a lot of rock and roll analogies and stuff in this show, but
Anarchy, baby.
I'm more a rap guy, so if you want to bring up rap analogies,
Yeah, you're right.
I like a lot of rap, and we play a lot of anti-New World Order hip hop on
You
this
got
show.
some good rap artists, Nathan. I'm impressed.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, look, Jeff, we'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Battle of New Orleans Radio. We have our great guest, Mr. Jeff Berwick, the Dollar Vigilante. The Dollar Vigilante. Check out his website, thedollarvigilante.com, and go subscribe, become a member. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back.
Enjoy fresh fruit grown in your yard. JohnnyAppleseedTrees.com delivers and installs fruit trees and fruiting vines to your home or condo. Proudly serving Kenner, Metairie, and New Orleans. Apples, apricots, blackberries, citrus, figs, grapes, peaches, pears, persimmons, plums, and raspberries. All the trees and fruiting vines are grown right here in South Louisiana. Check out the Fruit Tree Guide for more information and visit JohnnyAppleseedTrees.com today. It's a great time to plant. JohnnyAppleseedTrees.com. As the corporate media dies, MetroNow.com and TheDailyResistance.com continue to give you a decentralized and independent take on the latest current events as well as historical reference to help you wade through the propaganda of the prostitute media. Our mission is to inform the people of New Orleans about the issues of freedom, health, world events, and much more so that we as a community can thrive in the 21st century. Only with an informed public will we truly be free and independent. So take a look at MetroNow.com or TheDailyResistance.com as your independent news source.
Whether you're in the real estate market to buy, sell, lease, or looking for someone just to manage your properties, look no further than Paula Bourne with Plantation Properties. She has 34 years experience and is an expert of all of the latest programs available to homeowners. She has been my trusted realtor for years now. So please call Paula Bourne with Plantation Properties at 504-858-9293. That's 504-858-9293. Renovations Your Way. They renovate to fit your needs with complete customer service from start to finish that goes way beyond the job. With over 20 years experience, and they are fully insured, and they support the Battle of New Orleans Radio to unite the metro area in the fight for liberty.
Visit us on the web at renovationsyourway.com or call me, Daniel, at 985-402-5916. That's 985-402-5916. renovationsyourway.com. Mention you heard about us on Battle of New Orleans Radio and receive a 10% discount.
Does your house have a clogged up toilet, faulty electrical wires, or AC or heater just isn't blowing properly? Well, call Herman with Superior AC, Electrical, and Plumbing at 985-781-0418. Also specializes in new construction and covers the whole New Orleans metro area. So please, call our friend Herman with Superior AC, Electrical, and Plumbing at 985-781-0418. That's 985-781-0418. Ooh-wee. Hey, David, that smell good. What you eating on?
Man, I'm eating on some shrimp I got from J&N Big Easy Seafood.
Man, I had to get me some of that.
Yeah, bro, they specialize in the delivery, catering of 20 pounds or more boiled or live shrimp, crawfish, catfish, crabs, frog legs, and much more.
And how do I get in touch with J&N's Big Easy Seafood?
Just call them up. Call 985-640-8822. That's 985-640-8822.
Hot mic. We could actually hear some of what they were saying. Let's listen in. Good afternoon, Alan. Ben Shalom. Helicopter Ben, how you been? Not bad, Alan. Lovely. Beautiful day for November, eh? Yeah, I was quite surprised myself. Talk about the crime of the century, eh?
Like Aurora Borealis, so incredible to observe. We must ignore what they tell us about their Federal Reserve, because folks don't know the half about Jekyll Island. So if I was you, I wouldn't laugh or heckle, my friend. When they control both sides and they can disguise the opposition, maximize profits and minimize competition. If they're in the wrong position, then the belief backfires. Some of the unsung.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. You're listening to Battle of New Orleans Radio. Look, that's the front of the show right there, Mr. Payday Monsanto.
Paydays in the house.
That's right. That's a new release. He's got Bankster. It's about the Federal Reserve, and it features Gemini. Man, it's a great song. We have our great guest on Skype with us, Mr. Jeff Berwick, joining us all the way from Acapulco, Mexico.
What you gonna do with Jeff Berwick, though? You talked about how great of a guest he was. Handle it, bro.
Well, something's wrong.
I am something.
Hey, look, Jeff, I wanted to get into, last year I seen the Pope. He started talking about the Shemitah and the Jubilee year, and then it kind of piqued my interest in this, and that's kind of when I ran across your Shemitah video. Man, could you kind of get into that and explain to the listeners what that is and what is the importance
and
of
how
this?
does it relate to Black Sabbath's lyrics back in the early 70s when they said, "Would you like to see the Pope on the end of a rope? Do you think he's a fool?"
I've been predicting the dollar collapse for since 2010. I said it happened within the decade, by 2020. And I never looked too far into exactly who is behind running the financial system, who the real players are too much. I knew there was definitely a lot of stuff going on, but I didn't look into it too much. And then Christine Lagarde did this funny speech about the magic number 7, and she talked for quite a while about numerology at some sort of a press conference. And I was like, that's interesting. And then right around that time, I ran across a book by Rabbi Jonathan Cahn called The Harbinger. And I was really interested in that because I'm a huge 9/11 buff. A huge 9/11 truther. And so he had a lot of information in about that. But in the book, he brought up the Shemitah, and I'd never heard of it. And
it rolls so good off your tongue.
Yeah, and so and he brought up how the last Shemitah. So for people who don't know, the Shemitah is every 7 years. It's actually biblical, or it comes from the Torah. And
but you said 7 was a magic number. You think that's got anything to do with 7 being like a lucky number? I mean,
yeah, or it's actually all throughout all kinds of cultural things. You break a mirror, you have bad luck for 7 years.
So you said you heard all of these different ways that you heard all of these different things, but it came down to you when it finally got your attention, you paid attention to was the numbers.
Well, it was actually that last 2 Shemitahs in 2008 and 2001, the biggest financial market crashes up until that point in history on both times fell on the exact end day of the Shemitah.
What a coincidence.
It fell on September 17th, 2001, and that was the first day the stock markets opened after 9/11. And then on
much publicized.
September 29th, 2008, it was the next biggest market crash, actually the biggest market crash to that point in history, where on that day, the opening bell didn't ring on the New York Stock Exchange, and the New York Stock Exchange fell 777 points on that day. And so I started looking into this more and more, and the more you look into it, the more down the rabbit hole you get, the more bizarre it gets. There seems to be a financial elite sort of timeline as to when they do these sort of massive events.
A definite trend, obviously, right, Ethan?
Yeah, absolutely. Really, I think, that's what people lose sight in a lot of these things. It's hard to argue with trends and numbers.
Two things that are really hard to argue with, no doubt.
Yeah, no doubt. So people can say what they want about predictions, but if you're making these predictions off trends and numbers, it's hard. That comes down to facts and stats, and it's hard to really refute that.
But let me talk to Jeff, too, what you just said. Not that bring up any criticism, because great guest you got here tonight, but a lot of the criticism that Jeff Berwick gets, from what I'm seeing from comments on YouTube and different things in the media, is the fact that the predictions. Oh, you said since 2001 or whatever.
2010.
2010. Yeah, thank you, Nathan. But a lot of predictions, it seem like they keep going on and on. Okay, well, it's gonna be next year. Okay, what's gonna be next October? And people don't really see that it can only be a few months or a year difference, but the prediction's still in. It looks like a trend is still going, whether his year date is wrong or not. The trend still seems like it's going in that line.
The last Shemitah was last year on September 13th, and I said there couldn't be a market crash on that day because that day was a Sunday. But in the 2 weeks before that, we had the biggest one-day intraday point crash on the Dow of over 1,000 points, and actually that entire quarter was the worst quarter for global or worldwide stock markets since 2008.
What's Sunday got to do with it?
The Sabbath.
I was just saying it fell on us. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just wanted the listeners to know that we all actually throwing religion in here. It's not just numbers. It's not just predictions. We got some religious stuff going on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually made me.
Because when y'all said Sunday, everybody sat back for a second. When I was a kid, you couldn't buy beer on Sunday in Chalmette. Anyway, Jeff Berwick's in the house.
Well, I was quite agnostic until I started looking into all this stuff, and I've said outright, I believe in God now. From everything I've seen, there's something tied to this. There's some sort of biblical related numbers and timing that is tied. And so, as you mentioned earlier, after this last Shemitah, this was the seventh Shemitah. So after every seventh Shemitah, every 49 years, there's something called the Jubilee year. And I wasn't sure what was going to happen.
Is that Jew with it EW or JU?
People spell it differently, especially on the internet, but it was actually the Pope who came out and declared it as an emergency jubilee year late last year, and so that caught my attention. Then it was William White of the Bank of International Settlements, which is the central banks of central banks.
That's a scary organization. Watching your videos and stuff, it led me to that, and when I went to look into it a little more, I couldn't take it. That seems like, okay, I said I wasn't going to mention anything about it. It seems Illuminati-esque. It seems Bilderberg-esque. It's like, can you tell us a little bit about what that has to do with what you're talking about?
Well, the guy from the Bank of International Settlements said a few months ago that we're now in a jubilee, and he said this goes back 5,000 years to the Sumerians, and he said everything's going to get wiped out during this jubilee,
like washed away.
And that's the first civilized people who ever recorded anything. So it seems like everything's coming around town, SpongeBob.
Yeah, they seem to have a lot of understanding of the ancient knowledge and ancient timing. A lot of it goes back to Egypt and all of that. Just trying to look into it all is you spend all day, every day for years and years.
You are thorough, my friend.
I do my best, but even I haven't scratched the surface on this. I'm just trying to let people know what I find out as I find out about it.
And I think that's why I haven't subscribed yet, but I think after this show, I think I'm going to subscribe and try to get some of the inside, information that you dish out. And I think that's important because, people can look and find these trends that you're talking about in this information that they're not going to get from the lying mainstream media that is dying on a daily basis now. So, we need other information out there. People will go pay $200 a month on a cable bill to watch a lying Fox News. Why not support organizations that are pro-freedom?
Yeah, $45 seems like money well spent to you, right?
Yeah, pro-freedom, pro-human. Let's support this type of media.
Yeah, and I think you might want to get into that a little bit with him about moving around and not sitting in one spot, not adhering to one God and one government. So,
look, ladies and gentlemen, listen to Battle of New Orleans Radio. We have Mr. Jeff Berwick, the Dollar Vigilante, on Skype with us, and we'll be right back.
These are questions that could get you murked, politically, socially, physically put into the dirt. Many swear that there's some kind of conflict of interest within. The conflict depends upon what you're interested in. You can chant 9/11 was an inside job all day until you say the Mossad and pay closer attention to Flight 175 and the odd cylindrical pod beneath the fuselage. Then it's 2+2 level addition.
As the corporate media dies, MetroNow.com and TheDailyResistance.com continue to give you a decentralized and independent take on the latest current events as well as historical reference to help you wade through the propaganda of the prostitute media. Our mission is to inform the people of New Orleans about the issues of freedom, health, world events, and much more so that we as a community can thrive in the 21st century. Only with an informed public will we truly be free and independent. So take a look at MetroNow.com or TheDailyResistance.com as your independent news source.
Most people shy away from taking their cars to be serviced. Why? That's because they're scared they'll get ripped off, right? Well, not at Automotive Tires and Services on Jefferson Highway. Period. Vance and his team will make sure you leave with a well-serviced vehicle at a reasonable price. No sticker shock. Automotive Tires and Services offers all name brand tires and can take care of any repair or maintenance you need on your vehicle. And they know their customers by name. Call Vance today at 737-4096. Automotive Tires and Service, 737-4096.
This is David Duplantier, Dean of Christ Church Cathedral between 6th and 7th on St. Charles Avenue, inviting you to join us in celebrating Sundays at the Cathedral. 7:30 a.m. in the chapel, 10 a.m. a choral Eucharist in the Cathedral, and 6 p.m. a service called Real Presence that invites the worshiper to enter into the mystery of God by reflection, prayer, and celebration of the Holy Eucharist. For more information, look at our website, cccnola.org.
Hello, this is Coach Alan DeRitter, your host for Monday Night Football, your voice for youth soccer, 5 years running now. You want to get your business connected with the most popular sport in the world? We have an active listenership from Shreveport to New Orleans and from Baton Rouge to Lake Charles. Contact me at 504-577-3131 if you're interested. There are primetime commercials available, and of course, you'll be on the air with our show. That's 504-577-3131. God bless you and your family.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm Jeff Palermo. 15 candidates have signed up to have their name on the ballot for this fall's U.S. Senate race. Polls indicate Democrat Foster Campbell has a chance to make the runoff. The Public Service Commissioner says Louisiana should be the richest state in the South, but politicians have done a poor job representing the public.
We've had all these natural resources, and yet we're down there with Mississippi. It makes no sense about it at all. The only reason is our politicians hadn't represented the people's interests. They represented the special interests.
The St. Charles Parish Sheriff's Office has arrested a man accused of making threats against police officers on social media. Sheriff Greg Champagne says following the deadly rampage against officers in Baton Rouge, a man by the name of Victor Pablo indicated he planned a similar ambush.
Basically making statements that in a little while St. Charles deputies are gonna get it next.
Champagne says the suspect is being charged with terrorizing and threatening a public official. Louisiana Radio Network.
Meet Chad. Hello. Chad is a big LSU sports fan. He follows just about all LSU sports. I like them all. I bleed purple and gold. This is Chad looking at TigerRag.com. Love this website. This is Chad reading a column from the magazine on TigerRag.com. That guy's a good writer. This is Chad getting recruiting information from TigerRag.com. Oh, I didn't know he was coming here. Good for us. This is Chad getting pumped about the upcoming football season. Oh, I love my Tigers. Da, 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 da. Okay, that's enough of that, Chad. Oh, sorry. If you're a Tiger fan, stay up to date with TigerRag.com. You'll love all the information at your fingertips. That's TigerRag.com. Yeah, but don't hum the fight song. You'll just embarrass yourself. TigerRag.com. Love this website.
This is Jeff Cruier with my commentary of the day. After another deadly shooting in Baton Rouge, we've seen far too many of our police officers targeted by radicals and folks that are connected with racist organizations. In Baton Rouge, the killer was Gavin Long, associated with the Nation of Islam. The killer in Dallas was associated with the Black Panther Party. We've seen violence from those associated with Black Lives Matter. Here's the thing. All lives matter. Police officers, Americans of all races. It's time for America to come together to fight crime. And we need political leadership that is going to tell the American people exactly what we are facing. We're facing an attack on unity in this country, an attack on law and order, and we desperately need new leadership that's going to emphasize law and order and emphasize that this is one country. Americans of all races need to come together to promote this great land.
More info on this and the other hot topics of the day, check out ringsidepolitics.com.
Ah, the sounds of summer. And this is the sound of summer skin being scratched because of the itching and irritation of what the season can bring. You need the fast relief of Cortisone 10 Intensive Healing Anti-Itch Cream. Unlike regular lotions, Cortisone 10 relieves itch and irritation with 1% hydrocortisone, the strongest non-prescription itch medicine, plus 7 healing moisturizers. Cortisone 10 makes summer sound fun again. Cortisone 10. Feel the heal. Use as directed.
This is an alert. If your business or church is building this year, you're about to pay more than you should. This could mean thousands of dollars more for your office, retail space, church, or warehouse. A General Steel building can save you as much as half the cost and time of similar conventional construction. And we're offering rebates of up to $20,000 to help you build today. Call General Steel for free information that could save you thousands. Call 866-95-STEEL. 866-95-STEEL. That's 866-95-STEEL.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. You're listening to Battle of New Orleans Radio right here at the home of the First Amendment of New Orleans at 990 AM WGSO in the heart of the Crescent City. This is the only radio station in the New Orleans area that will allow us and give us, free speech and allow us to exercise the First Amendment. All of these corporate whore-controlled radio stations will not allow us to do this. So thank you, WGSO, all the listeners. Please call them up. Please support them. Please support our sponsors, because without them, none of this would be possible. So really appreciate it.
Look, New Orleans has the best monuments. We got the best Robert E. Lamb monument. We got the best Andrew Jackson monument. So, hey, holla at your people. Your boy fought that war, bro. Jeff Berwick's in the house. It's nice to hang out with you, Jeff. Baby Doll's in the house, too, huh?
Yeah, I noticed that I'm having a hard time concentrating.
It's okay. It happens to the best of us, brother.
Yeah.
Anyway, Nathan, you got the show, baby.
Yeah, when we were talking about, of course, the Shemitah, we were looking at some of the trends. So, Jeff, by looking at the numerology and looking at the 7-year cycles, when, in your estimation, is it going to come to a head?
Is 2018 a good number?
Well, we're still in the Jubilee year right now. It ends on October 2nd of this year, and there's a lot of very interesting things going on. For example, the U.S. debt ceiling reaches its ceiling again. It's not really a ceiling; it's a target. It always reaches it on September 30th. On October 1st, which I believe is a Saturday, might be wrong on that, but anyway,
it's not a Sunday. We're good.
The day before the Jubilee year ends, the Chinese yuan is going to be put into the SDR basket. So that's a massive change. That's actually being done on a weekend. And whenever they're going to do a massive changeover in the banking or monetary system, they usually do it on a weekend. And then, interestingly enough, and I don't know a lot about this, but the new Jesuit Pope is being put in on the evening of October 2nd, at midnight on that at that hour. So there seems to be a lot happening around the
Is that a weekend?
Jubilee year. I'm not sure.
Because it seems like whatever they're doing, they're trying to catch us while we're sleeping. Yeah, because I sleep on the weekends.
Anyway.
Anyway,
that's a good point. You bring that up, Jerome. And what did they just do this past week? What did they do? They released the 28 pages when nobody was paying attention in the heart of the Paris attack.
I was in the bed chilling with your girl.
I mean, what do you think about the 28 pages that were released, Jeff?
Well, I was actually at Freedom Fest, and yeah, it was quite amazing. So I'm at all these parties and all these things, and I look up at the screen, and the first thing that happened was the Nice, France attack, which looks a little shady. Many of these attacks are.
That truck like it was going slow in the video, and everybody talking about how fast he was going. But anyway, Jeff Berwick's in the house.
Yeah, it looks like it might be a false flag, but I don't know exactly yet. I haven't had time to look into it. But then right after that, so I'm sitting there, I'm in Vegas, and I'm like, oh, wow, something big just happened. Then they go, 28 pages were just released. And I'm like, oh, wow, they did it, and I'm so busy right now. I got to go see what they said. And right after that, Turkey coup attack, and all over the news, Turkey, all day long. Yeah. And then right after that was the Baton Rouge shootings of the cops. And so they definitely tried to whitewash it underneath all of this sort of storm of information. Yeah. But the interesting thing about the 28 pages was there really wasn't any real information in there that was any value.
Blah, blah, blah. They redacted everything.
I said that for years. I said
so. They actually didn't catch Jeff Berwick sleeping. You didn't miss a thing.
Yeah, well, I knew they weren't going to say there was explosives in the World Trade Center towers. I knew they weren't going to say there was no plane that hit the pentagram, that there was a bomb. I knew they weren't going to say there was no plane in that field in Pennsylvania.
Right. I mean, Nathan's shirt right now says 911 was an inside job, so everybody knows that. They just didn't put it out then.
Yeah, they're never going to put it out, obviously, and the people are waiting for the government to incriminate themselves. A long time.
I got a little tidbit for you. You're gonna like this, Jeff. You were talking about the Baton Rouge ordeal, and of course we're in Louisiana,
state capital.
nobody caught this. There was a local news channel out of Lafayette, Louisiana. I think WKATC, I believe it is. They ran an article.
He's going deep on you, Jeff.
They ran an article that was saying CNN got the emails of Gavin Long, who was the Baton Rouge shooter. And in the emails, it said he belonged to a advocacy group for mind control. And it was the same act. I seen it, and it was a blip in the radar. And the same advocacy group, Aaron Alexis, the Naval Yard shooter, he was also involved with the same organization, and he believed he was under microwave elf mind control. So, and I was saying that the week before. I said, man, I bet with all these incidents, I mean, our government has the power to use mind control.
That's fluoride in our water.
Yeah, with microwaves and all of this. So it's just really amazing that I've seen that, and nobody's talked about it. I haven't seen one.
Do you want to give somebody credit right now? Because you didn't see it by yourself.
Yeah, my wife. My wife actually seen it.
I didn't mean to blow John Blast. But again, Jeff Berwick's in the house.
Big ups to your wife. I haven't even looked into that. But how do you say it? Baton Rouge?
Baton Rouge. It means red stick in Indian language.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Right.
I haven't even looked into that because so many things have been happening. I looked into the Dallas one, and that was totally a false flag. I exposed that.
Nathan, you got a lot on that tonight, but go ahead.
No, Jeff, get into that. I didn't mean to cut you off because you put out a great video that your team actually broke down all the angles of the shooting. Is that the video I got? Yeah, that's.
Oh my God, it's so good. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, well, just like anything, as soon as we saw it, we were thinking this doesn't look right. What are the odds that this is going to happen? Right the day after, again, they're putting it's happening so fast now. The day after they had let Hillary Clinton off and announced that she was not going to be indicted by the FBI, all of a sudden Dallas and all of a sudden Black Lives Matter sort of stuff at a Black Lives Matter thing, which is funded by Soros. And all of a sudden there's snipers on like the 6th or 7th floor of a building in Dallas. That might bring back some memories for some people. It was actually 450 yards where JFK was killed. We looked
Dallas, 1 p.m.
Yeah, and so we started looking it up, and I have this guy, actually, he's a guy who lives here in Acapulco, and I've worked with him on a few things in the past, and he started emailing me and messaging me. He's like, what they're saying is not right. I've done all the triangulations. I've got all the cell phone videos.
The grassy knoll.
All that kind of stuff. Within 24 hours, and he sent it all over to me. I'm like, you got to give this to me to put out. And he's like, yeah, cool. So
the guy would have had been like the Punisher or something to do all that, or Spider-Man or something, you know.
I think he got a little carried away. I think he's on a lot of Red Bull or something.
It gives you wings, so you can jump out of a plane from space.
But it's pretty amazing how we can put something together like that just from Acapulco in 24 hours while CNN is just on there reporting.
You got a good squad, dog.
Strategy. We got to get rid of guns.
Talk to us a little bit more about what you think all of that meant, as far as like why did they do that? Why did they not put out the information that was obviously clear to see from all the cell phones that were around? And why did they just put this little story out to confuse people or whatever it was?
Well, it was clearly more than one shooter, so it was obviously not what they said. And then when they said it was this one guy, then they said, oh, well, we talked to him for a few hours, and he said he hates cops. Okay, do you have any recording of that? No, we don't. We didn't record it or anything. Okay, so where is he? Well, we blew him up.
You know what freaked me out, Nathan? But
this was they blew him up. No,
with a robot.
No, excuse me. That was the Dallas shooter they blew up,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
There's been so many now. But how insane is that, Jeff? That now, we had this incident in Dallas, and now the police send in a drone basically to kill American citizens. I mean, how the precedent now is just it's off the hook now.
It's trying to make it like where it's everybody knows that it's normal.
Yeah, right.
Jeff, what you got?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that's why they did it.
You know what freaked me out about that too? When Obama or whatever claimed to get Bin Laden, that was the first time I noticed. Like, well, of course with Hitler, but where's the body? Like, oh, you threw him in the water? Well, because if I remember right, when I was growing up looking at books about criminals and stuff, Dillinger and all those great criminals in the late 1800s and early 1900s, they hung them up and put them in the front page of a paper full of bullet holes. So I, as a child, wanted to see that as an adult. Oh, you got the bad guy? Put him in the front page of the paper. Oh, you threw him in the water? Where's he at? And then so where's all these people that they arrested? Oh, we killed them, like the guys who supposedly did the Boston stuff. Oh, they shot him in a shootout. Well, where's the freaking call camera? Nobody had the camera on? Oh, they just blew them apart. So I don't believe any of this, and that's why, Jeff, what you bringing out is what everybody kind of should know already, but nobody wants to talk about that in the water cooler.
Yeah, no, I love the Osama bin Laden one because I was sort of like you.
That's the one you wanted to see, Nathan.
So I figured for sure they would never get him because all the evidence was he died in 2002. So they're like, we got him. I'm like, okay, maybe I was wrong on this one. Yeah. I'm like, okay, so let's see the body. No, we put him in a helicopter and flew him 300 miles.
Really,
to the
bro?
ocean and threw him in the ocean.
So you
Why'd
thought
do
nobody
that?
wanted to see
Because-
that, Obama?
I'm
sorry.
So why'd you do that? Well, he's Muslim. You know, desert people. That's how they bury their dead. They fly them in a helicopter out to the ocean. You know, it was sort of like a.
That's tradition. That's tradition.
So
Jeff.
so Obama's a closet Muslim. That's what's going on. Thank you, Jeff, for bringing us that clarity.
I mean, look, we know, like you said, Jeff, in 2002. If a lot of people remember, there was news. I remember. I think it was Tom Brokaw come on the nightly news and said Osama bin Laden was dead. There was news stories of him dying.
As far back as when he was saying,
dying in a Dubai hospital. I mean, this is how crazy. But see, we can't remember yesterday because they were under a chemical attack 24 hours a day.
I had friends saying he had a heart attack in a crack house in the Ninth Ward. So I mean, you can't believe Tom Brokaw?
Plus, he kept putting out videos every year, and he was getting younger and
True,
younger, and
true,
turned into a completely different person at the end. No one seems to notice. No one seems to care, as George Carlin.
And now they got a movie about it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, then in 2004,
Caleb's in the
we
house.
had a former Secretary of State, Madeleine Albright, came on and said that our government basically had Osama bin Laden's body on ice.
Pretty
He was
woman.
already dead.
That would be nice to see.
On ice.
I'd like to see that in a museum. As how you say, one like King Tut went paraded around. I'd like to see Osama bin Laden be paraded around for the next 100 years.
Like a mummy. But here's the thing, Jerome. Osama bin Laden was a puppet. He didn't do that.
Absolutely, you're CIA trained, dude.
He didn't do that.
Yeah.
We all right. Look, Jeff, we're coming to a break. We only got you for about 15 more minutes. When we come back, let's get into some of the solutions.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the fest that you have going on in Acapulco. Let's give some people solutions because we talk about all the negativity out there. Let's give some people some solutions to their problems. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to Battle of New Orleans Radio. We have Mr. Jeff Berwick on Skype. Please go to the dollarvigilante.com and support him. We'll be right back.
Enjoy fresh fruit grown in your yard. JohnnyAppleseedTrees.com delivers and installs fruit trees and fruiting vines to your home or condo. Proudly serving Kenner, Metairie, and New Orleans. Apples, apricots, blackberries, citrus, figs, grapes, peaches, pears, persimmons, plums, and raspberries. All the trees and fruiting vines are grown right here in South Louisiana. Check out the Fruit Tree Guide for more information and visit JohnnyAppleseedTrees.com today. It's a great time to plant. JohnnyAppleseedTrees.com. As the corporate media dies, MetroNail.com and TheDailyResistance.com continue to give you a decentralized and independent take on the latest current events as well as historical reference to help you wade through the propaganda of the prostitute media. Our mission is to inform the people of New Orleans about the issues of freedom, health, world events, and much more so that we as a community can thrive in the 21st century. Only with an informed public will we truly be free and independent. So take a look at MetroNow.com or TheDailyResistance.com as your independent news source.
Whether you're in the real estate market to buy, sell, lease, or looking for someone just to manage your properties, look no further than Paula Bourne with Plantation Properties. She has 34 years experience and is an expert of all of the latest programs available to homeowners. She has been my trusted realtor for years now. So please call Paula Bourne with Plantation Properties at 504-858-9293. That's 504-858-9293. Renovations Your Way. They renovate to fit your needs with complete customer service from start to finish that goes way beyond the job. With over 20 years experience, and they are fully insured, and they support the Battle of New Orleans Radio to unite the metro area in the fight for liberty.
Visit us on the web at renovationsyourway.com or call me, Daniel, at 985-402-5916. That's 985-402-5916. Renovationsyourway.com. Mention you heard about us on Battle of New Orleans Radio and receive a 10% discount.
Does your house have a clogged up toilet, faulty electrical wires, or AC or heater just isn't blowing properly? Well, call Herman with Superior AC, Electrical, and Plumbing at 985-781-0418. Also specializes in new construction and covers the whole New Orleans metro area. So please, call our friend Herman with Superior AC, Electrical, and Plumbing at 985-781-0418. That's 985-781-0418.
I'm Jeff Cruere.
I'm Eric Asher. You can always catch us on the radio right here on WGSO 990 AM.
Did you know you can catch us on TV?
That's right, Jeff. We're on WLAE TV.
Join me every Friday on Ringside Politics with a Punch at 7:30 with a rebroadcast Sunday at 10 p.m.
Check me out every Thursday, 6 to 7 p.m. and a rebroadcast Friday at 10 p.m. for Inside New Orleans Sports. That's WLAE TV, Cox Channel 14, Satellite and AT&T Channel 32, Charter Channel 11. Don't miss it.
We are never gonna back down. We are never gonna back down. Power to the people.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. You're listening to Battle of New Orleans Radio right here, 990 AM WGSO in the heart of the Crescent City. We have Mr. Jeff Berwick, the Dollar Vigilante, on Skype with us, man. It's great information. Look,
invaluable.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Look, Jeff, I have your fest pulled up right now. Could you please, tell the listening audience about your festival and some of the guests? Man, the guest lineup y'all had this year was unbelievable, man.
Yeah, thanks. It's called an Acapulco. I started it. We're on our third one next year, so I started 2 years ago, and it's the world's largest, first and largest anarcho-capitalist conference. So true freedom fighters, essentially the biggest true freedom conference in the world. It's in Acapulco, Mexico, right on the beach, so you can't miss that. I hope you bring down Honey Boo Boo Doll or Baby Doll or whatever her name was.
I bet you could get some Acapulco gold down there.
Well, I got to be careful. I'm kind of married here, but
okay.
But
she's taken to
slippery slope.
Oh yeah, I'm open to new ways of doing things. So
yes, indeed. We'll be in Acapulco next year.
So anyway, yeah, it's a great conference. Just to name off a few people that some people might know. A lot of these are pretty big names. People like Adam Kokesh, Larkin Rose, Jeffrey Tucker, Lauren Southern of Rebel Media, Milo Yiannopoulos of Breitbart, who just got kicked off Twitter.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's an accolade.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy for sure. We have Roger Ver, who's known as the Bitcoin Jesus, Dana Martin, a huge unschooling proponent, Julia Triansky. We also have Luke Rudowski of We Are Change, one of the best independent journalists out there. Ken O'Keefe, just an amazing guy, a real freedom fighter. Mark Victor, the best lawyer I know of in the U.S., and he's an actual anarchist.
That's a big deal if you're the best lawyer.
Well, yeah, he's actual freedom lawyer. He'll try to get you off. He gets people off of, gun charges, open carry charges, drunk driving charges, anything where you didn't hurt anyone, he'll get you off. You might like this. We've got Eric July and Backwards performing. I don't know if you heard of them. If you're into the rap,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they just put out their new track.
Do they rap backwards? Tell us a little about them real quick.
He's full ANCAP. He has got a full couple raps just called ANCAP rap. And a fun, interesting side story you played earlier, Payday Monsanto. We're actually in talks with him. If you guys know him.
Yeah, matter of fact, he called me on the first. Payday called me on the first break of the show. So I can get in touch with him.
Yeah, he's going to be a featured guest on the Sports Guru show August the 6th.
So I can get in touch with him.
Yeah, we'd love to have him perform in Acapulco, especially with that new. I hadn't heard that track before about the Fed. That's awesome.
Yeah, I try to incorporate.
He's so good.
Payday Monsanto's awesome. He's got so much. He doesn't waste a track, so I try to incorporate his music in topics because it just fits.
Yeah. Down to earth dude. Too.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm telling my wife about this tonight, and I am going. I want to book this trip.
You owe her a trip because she gave you that tip this week about the inside information.
I do owe her a trip. So Jeff, I plan on coming absolutely because this just looks phenomenal, and I'm just upset I didn't hear about it. This past year. We don't have much time.
Jeff,
left.
talk to me about the Bitcoin ATM. Why didn't it work?
Short story. I was in Guyana at a gold mine, and a friend called me and he said,
"Don't drink the Kool-Aid in Guyana." Am I right?
I never heard that one.
Yeah, no, that's the Jim Jones where the kid where everybody drank the Kool-Aid.
Come on now.
Oh, no, I didn't know about that.
Oh, well, you need to read up on it. Anyway, bad history. You don't need to know about it. But anyway, the Bitcoin ATM didn't work, and it seems like, wow, what a great thing that would be.
Yeah, so I was in Guyana, and Cyprus had just happened, the bank bail-ins, and I was like, this is huge. Changes a lot. This is going to be huge for Bitcoin. And Bitcoin actually took off from about $30 to $150 during it. And right at that time, I had a friend, and it's an old friend, and he said, hey, I just locked up. It's the first Bitcoin ATM. I just did a deal with the guy, and we own it now. And I'm like, well, I'm going to go and try to get on Fox and all these CNBC and everything and tell them about Cyprus and Bitcoin. Why don't we do a deal where I become a partner in this Bitcoin ATM, and I'll promote that, raise some money and all that kind of stuff. So I go do all the media, I talk about the Bitcoin ATM, and as soon as I was done, I was like, okay, so we should actually do figure out, my percentage. You're going to give me a cut of the company. I'll be like the promoter. I'll tell everyone about it. And the guy went, no, we're fine now. We don't need you anymore. And that was it. Yeah.
What about escaping America? What you got to tell people quickly about that? As a concept.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be nothing but worse and worse in the U.S. for the next few years. And the only thing I can say is I've been to so many countries and so many great places to go.
Nathan, he gets around. He gets around, Nathan. You know he gets around, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead.
And I would love to get you back on soon, Jeff, to do a whole hour on this concept, because my wife and I, this is like our big dream. When my daughter graduates high school in the next 3 years, that is our plan. My wife's a nurse, and I own my own business, and we want to find a way to be able to travel the world and get outside the country, get outside of this prison bubble of the United States. So I think, people need to get out there and live, because we're trapped in this prison.
Yeah, totally. So come on down to Narcopoco and you'll meet hundreds, if not thousands, of people who are already doing it, and you can kind of see how to do it. And as far as coming back on your show, I'd come back just for the commercial breaks. Inside joke.
See, it's okay. Look, she's mine, but she's everybody.
Did you say you were going to have Milo Yiannopoulos on, the Engadget guy that got knocked off Twitter?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I
too.
love that guy. I have to so go to this now.
Yeah, you're right. Well, hey, bro, you can hang out with us after the break, bro. Just hang out on Skype, bro. Just get it where you fit it, bro. Join the crew. Jeff Berwick's in the house. Nathan, you got a great show, brother.
Man, I appreciate it. And I appreciate Jeff Berwick for coming on. What got you,
What
Jeff?
is the key word?
I know I couldn't spit
It's
it out.
okay. You
Excuse
did
me.
great. Oh my God, it was awesome.
What got you interested in started living this lifestyle abroad and really not being
Escaping
a status,
America,
escaping
yeah.
this whole status mind frame.
Well, I grew up in northern Canada, so it was easy for me. I just wanted to get out of there. It was freaking cold.
Climbing alone.
Then first place I moved was actually LA, Santa Monica, and I got into the Hollywood scene. I was hanging out with.
You're right. You're right there by
Paris
Venice
Hilton,
Beach. You got
all
our
that.
Hollywood scene. What a great place to go to.
Yeah, but the people were really strange in Hollywood. I don't know if you've been to any of those Hollywood.
Trust me, they can't hang out with us Louisiana people. We'll put them in the dirt. But anyway, nice view from Santa Monica Pier.
No, it was beautiful. And then I thought, I got to see more and see what's going on.
So
I
you
got
went down the
that
coast a little ways, huh? Baja?
Yeah, I took the boat all the way down and spent a year just going through Mexico, just on the Pacific side, and had the time of my life. So, it's so much freer in a place like Mexico. Mexico's by far the freest country.
And now we
in
got
North
Freedom
America.
Fest. Because of that, because of your journey,
Yeah.
Well, but we got you still here. And Nathan's not telling me nothing. Talk to me about China and what do they mean to the future. And I'm talking about immediate future when I talk about the money and what's going to happen with this economy coming up.
I don't know. China's an interesting place. It's definitely a place full of opportunities if you're looking to do business.
You said they got some places there without government.
Yeah, they have one city. It's called an anarchic city. There's no government, and it's been booming. It's doing very well. There's really not much government involvement in most life in China. There's like 1 billion of them running around. They can't control them all.
Yeah, maybe in the big cities and the populated places, but for the most, that was a revelation for me because I'm like, I'm so anti-China about the communism and about the way they act and the way they are. But that was a revelation for me. So thank you for elaborating on that.
Yeah, it's more capitalist than the U.S. now, and that's why it's doing so well.
Look, ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Jeff Berwick on. It's the 8 o'clock break. We're coming to an end now. We really appreciate it. Jeff, where can everybody find your work at?
Just check it out at dollarvigilante.com. Also check me out on YouTube. Just look up the Dollar Vigilante.
I'm going to email you tonight. Wink, wink.
Kind of scared.
All right, thanks, Jeff. We really appreciate it, man.
Baby dolls in the house.
Good luck on your future endeavors, and I'm coming February, and I'm gonna get Payday by Santo down there.
Yeah,
I'd love to see you guys down here.
I'm going backstage with Payday, bro. I know the guy.
All right, man. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for all your
Jeff.
work.
You were awesome, dude. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
We are causing hysteria. free of my gang. We're the biggest drug dealers.
Hello, this is Coach Alan DeRitter, your host for Monday Night Football, your voice for youth soccer, 5 years now and running on WGSO. I'm also the head boys soccer coach at De La Salle High School in New Orleans. These are exciting times on the Avenue. Our head football coach, Ron Manelli, won Coach of the Year. Our wrestling team took the state championship. Our basketball team were undefeated district champs. And our band director, Duncan Prey, was named Band Director of the Year. Curious why? We'll schedule your spend a day at DeLaSalleNola.com or call us at 504-895-5717.
Grace at the Greenlight gives homeless men and women the options they need to strengthen their independence and make positive changes in their lives. This year alone, Grace has provided over 5,000 meals, thousands of bottles of water, and united 47 homeless individuals with their families. To find out how you can help, call 504-239-4544 or visit graceatthegreenlight.org. Grace would like to thank the following sponsors for their support: McMath Construction, Christ Church Cathedral, Perrier and Lacoste, McGee School, Fallberg Private Wealth, Capital Business Solutions, Oral and Berry LLC, Fat Bankers Social Aid and Pleasure Club, Emery and James Limited, Kushner LaGraze, and First NBC. Join us in helping make a difference in the lives of the local homeless community. Visit graceatthegreenlight.org.
It's Jeff Crouere, host of Ringside Politics. I'd like to introduce WGSO General Manager Richard Tate.
WGSO is locally owned and operated right here in New Orleans. We believe in cultivating local talent and emphasize local programs. If you have an interest in hosting your own program, we have some prime spots available.
Thanks, Richard. Folks, take advantage of this great offer. Email me at jeff@wgso.com or call me at 504-669-6076. Come fulfill your radio dreams at WGSO.
Anytime, anywhere. Smartphone, TuneIn radio app, WGSO.com. On the AM dial at 990, we are WGSO New Orleans.
USA Radio News with Chris Barnes.
More than halfway through the Republican National Convention in Cleveland, some of the delegates who were not necessarily fans of the now nominee Donald Trump say they're now accepting that he is their nominee. Delegate Butch Davis of Texas saying he was looking forward to a contested convention.
It didn't happen. We're united. Let's win in November.
Here's more from USA Radio's Jason Wirt.
While many establishment Republicans called the nomination of Donald Trump the beginning of the end, USA Radio News senior political analyst Floyd Brown says it could be the opposite.
The new Republican Party is more combative, more willing to call out people like Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama for their left-wing agenda. So I think we've seen a sea change in the party under Trump.
Brown said Republican voters were waiting for a presidential candidate that showed they had a backbone. I'm Jason Wirt.
In the best of times, things are pretty easy. But when things go wrong, are you prepared for your family? Hi, this is Rusty Humphreys. Let me tell you about my good friends at Numana. Numana is a company that makes the best storable foods available anywhere in the world. It's easy to prepare. It's long-term food storage that has organic superfoods that are superior products to help your family thrive in any situation. These hearty foods are made with only the best, healthy, natural ingredients. And let me tell you, my friends at Numana, they avoid the chemicals and the processes that have been found to make people sick. You don't want that. There's no aspartame, no high fructose corn syrup, no added MSG, no chemical preservatives, no soy. Just the best foods to be available in the worst of times. You can find it all on the website, usaradiofood.com. usaradiofood.com. Find out more at usaradiofood.com.
One of Donald Trump's biggest rivals during the primary season, Ted Cruz, is to speak tonight at the Republican National Convention. He spoke to supporters earlier in the day, saying that he almost cried when he lost the Indiana primary to Trump.
We had 50 TV cameras there, and I'll tell you, I wasn't going to let those SOBs turn Lying Ted into Crying Ted.
Cruz indicating to that crowd that he is not going to be fully endorsing Donald Trump.
You know, there's a lot of talk about unity. I want to see unity, and the way to see unity is for us to unite behind shared principles, us to unite in defense of liberty.
Some Southwest Airlines flights taking off again after a temporary nationwide ground stop that Southwest has referred to as a system outage without much explanation. Some lines have been snaking out the doors of airport terminals as people try to check in, and the outage has affected the Southwest Airlines website too. Customers have been unable to book flights. This is USA Radio News.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
After a couple...
Are you looking for an insurance quote for your home, boat, or car? If you're still waiting for that return phone call, wait no more. Foundation Insurance Group has 6 licensed agents to serve you, and you won't be limited to just one carrier. Our agents will shop for the most affordable, complete coverage available. There's lots of insurance companies out there. Pick the company where customer service is a priority. Foundation Insurance Group, where we guarantee to call you back. Foundation Insurance Group, 504-304-6143.
Tonight's rain chance dropping off. Tomorrow goes back to a minimal chance, 20-30% or so. Temperature's going to be on the hot side again tomorrow and Friday and Saturday, and possibly that heat advisory, but nonetheless, be careful outdoors. The heat index will be jumping up there quite a bit, possibly resulting in some ill effects to you if you're not careful. It'll feel like 105 to 108. Rain chances next to none to help you out. The actual highs of the day will be into the middle to upper 90s, both tomorrow as well as Friday. The 9th Annual Jewel of Madisonville Gala and Auction, Saturday, July 23rd at the Castine Center, Mandeville. It's a wonderful evening of fun with food from over 50 of St. Tammany's best restaurants, dance music by Swing 101, silent and live auctions, including LSU and Saints packages. Get raffle tickets to the gala or online at 501auctions.com, St. Anselm, for your chance to win a 2016 $36,000 GMC Acadia, donated by Rainbow North Shore Buick GMC. More info at stansonmadisonville.org. Ralph Sanji, WGSO.
Get locked and loaded.
You know, they tell us that we're fighting ISIS, yet we've been funding them the whole time.
And everybody on Capitol Hill works for you.
That's right.
And it's a very rare breed. Leadership is a rare commodity, and it's born. It's not made. It's an innate characteristic.
The State Department knew for 10 days before Benghazi was going to happen that Benghazi was going to happen. The department she ran and oversaw was part of the smuggling of the weapons.
And so I said, you know what? I need to give up television.
It's the Battle of New Orleans radio show on WGSO 990 AM.
Every Wednesday night starting at 7 p.m. Central.
It's the Battle of New Orleans! Radio, radio! Bringing truth to your eardrums! Here we go, here we go! It's the Battle of New Orleans! Radio, radio! Bringing truth to your eardrums! Here we go, here we go!
The last line of defense, bringing truth to the front. Now it's time to begin. As we ride to the end, don't try to pretend that you don't want to know all the lies we've been fed. This is why we're here, to awaken the mind. Out of the dark we rise, no more mistaking this time. The fog is gone, the trench is clear. Stand tall, we're strong, all of the men are here. Let's go! Like the rod
I'm about to break something down.
We're gonna stand for ours and never
We got-
down. From 1812 until infinity, we declare to live in peace with no more misery.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. You're listening to Battle of New Orleans Radio right here on 990 AM WGSO in the heart of the Crescent City, home of the First Amendment. Look, here at Battle of New Orleans, we believe in truth, freedom, and liberty. And if we do not have truth, we cannot be free, because they are going to use those same lies to enslave us, and we will buy into our own enslavement because we will buy into the lies. Therefore, we will never have liberty. So we must dig and find the truth, and that's what this show is all about. Sometimes, we may miss the ball, but look, we all want the same thing: truth, freedom, and liberty.
Sometimes it's hard to find the truth, though, and that's where the misconceptions of who we are and who they are, because that's the key word you mentioned: we, they, and truth. That's hard to identify sometimes.
It is because
when you say we and they, it seems like opposing things.
Well, because it is opposed, because we have this,
and the truth is what's going to be in the middle.
Right. We have this media system that is controlled by a few corporations that really push the narrative, and then they push out the reality, and then their reality becomes our truth because that's what we perceive. So we really have to get out of their dimension.
And how you say perception is everything, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because if you misconstrued and you got in the wrong perception of something that you looking at and you think that's the truth, it's a lie sometimes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Look, me and Jerome was talking off there. We getting some
talking. I was talking.
Yeah, we getting some heated debate.
But
it's all love. We're two fiery people.
Can we talk about a little bit more Jeff Berwick stuff? Because he was a great guest. I wanted him to stay. Why you kicked the dude out? You sent the dude back to Acapulco. He was in New Orleans with us.
He said he only had an hour.
He was so cool. I think he enjoyed us too.
Yeah, I really.
And I apologize for doing my little stepping over thing. How I try to talk. I got a problem with that.
It's
but
good.
I think he liked us.
No, he's
let's
cool.
talk about a little bit about his agenda and what he said. You know about how he feels about Mexico. That's where he's at. But a lot of people, his critics and other people notwithstanding, say, yeah, I'm going to let you elaborate about what the positive things are that he gets from Mexico. But the critics say that, yeah, it's fine and dandy, this and that. But if you are involved with the cartels and it's hard to get away from that kind of stuff, a lot of people say that it's more of a free society and you only get messed with unless you are involved with those people. But at the same time, other people say you can get kidnapped at any time. And it's just a dangerous place to be.
But look.
So what do you think about how he thinks about Mexico?
Look, the United States is the largest police state in the planet. Look, they're putting up Stingray cell phone towers here in New Orleans right now in all the churches.
In the name of security.
Yeah, in church. Look, there's a church by my house that by this church, if you go look in the bell towers, they're putting up these Stingray antennas in the bell towers. I go down the street, you look on top of the Baptist church, there's stingrays on top of it, and with these Stingray towers, they're able to collect all of your data, listen to your phone calls.
It freaks me out. I drive from New Orleans to Florida to Houston to Jackson, Mississippi all week long. And if I find myself looking out the window and freaking out at all these towers because now I know, like my stepdad told me, this is for the cell phone, that's for the radio, that's for the phone, that's for just data collection. It's like, and that's all I see sticking out in the wooded areas all across America. So what you just saying on the churches and the cities, and I'm seeing it in the country. So it's okay, police state. Okay, but let's just look at it as: is there any hope to take that technology and not make it work against us as citizens?
Look, let me back up because I kind of went on a whole jag. We were talking about Mexico.
Yes.
Look, people believe just because we've been brainwashed and conditioned because we're Americans that America is so free. And at one point, this was true. But look, the Stasi in Germany had none of this equipment that we have today. So look, we have created just this giant police spy state. Look, there's InfraGard. InfraGard is a citizens group set up for the FBI through the FBI.
They ratting people out, like talking about it.
There's members.
That's the lowest form of civilization.
There's members in every community. They're doctors. There's teachers. They're lawyers.
They seeing something and saying something.
Absolutely, you can look this up. You can go to.
You get beat up in school for that. What happens in jail? Dead.
Yeah, absolutely. So my point of this is, they have spy systems set up everywhere. We're just being spied on. So these other countries are a lot more free because they don't have the NSA system set up. Granted, there are issues in Mexico, but there's issues here in New Orleans. You could walk out of your home in New Orleans and get killed.
I would like the callers to call up. What's the number?
What's that?
What's the phone number here?
Oh, yeah, we haven't given the number. Shame on us. 504-556-9696.
Call that number. Call that number and ask Nathan, what's more dangerous, Mexico or freaking New Orleans? Are you serious right now? Like, that cartel's in Mexico, brother.
My point.
Like, I understand what you're saying, but I ain't never got messed with down here, and I heard I could get kidnapped down there.
I worked out of Mexico for months. I never got kidnapped. I worked. But
You a gangster.
Look, 2012.
I'm saying, like, I wouldn't mess with you.
I spent
But if
the
I
whole-
saw somebody else walking down the street, I'd snap. If I know I could get money from their family, I don't get that down here. The only people who mess with me down here is if I look like prey. Down there, it seems like they're going after anybody. I don't know. I ain't never been to Mexico, but you guys get
I
elaborate.
spent the whole summer of 2012 in Mexico almost.
Yeah.
I'm still here.
Did you go see like crazy little sex shows and stuff?
No, we didn't go to the donkey show.
Did you go to the doctor?
No.
But you bought a poncho, I bet.
No, I didn't buy a poncho.
All right, whatever. My bad, bro. Anyway.
I didn't drink the water either. and they had the worst quesadillas.
The curse of Montezuma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I got a bologna. I ordered a quesadilla. It had bologna in it.
What? That doesn't sound good at all. I want to remind people right now, all you illegal immigrants who are out there right now that's from the south of the border of Texas across the Rio Grande, let's you not forget that in 1848, we went down to Mexico City and conquered that nation and took Texas, Oregon, and California. And if you want it back so bad, go ahead and take it, because guess what? Other than that, we're going to do something serious right here. This war needs to be fought again because they've infiltrated us. And I'm not happy about illegal immigration. I understand how things go, but that is a war that we win. We got to do wars now, brother.
Look,
I'm ready to fight again.
All right, look, check this out. Check this out, Jerome. We can't blame these people. You know why? Because it's the politicians and the central banking system that have opened the borders and brought them here. So by blaming the people, that's just like that's not blaming that's not getting to the root. That's only blaming blaming the Caleb, are you there? What's the word I'm looking for? That's not this blaming the I can't. You know what I'm saying?
I get you. But at the same time, are we not a nation with borders?
Borders,
Can we
language, and culture supposed to be.
Yeah,
anyway.
I mean, am I part of America or am I part of the world? You know, so I don't get it. Like, why is that Rio Grande just such a free pass? So I just don't want people here who haven't. My grandpa fought in the war, like I mentioned shows ago. I know people who shed their blood for this country to be free, and I know what you're saying. It's not as free as it was, or as free as it could be. But at the same time, they should not be here enjoying the freedoms that the little freedoms that I think I have. They just sucking off my system, bro.
Well, Jerome,
it might be a bad system, but it's mine.
This is the easy solution, and this goes down to our government. All they have to do is
So wait a minute, the key word here is solution.
Yes.
Is that not what we're arguing about tonight? We want solutions. Nathan, talk to the world, brother.
The only thing the government would have to do is to stop the game show prizes. If they would cut the game show prizes off, then they would stop coming. Right now, there's a lot of the Mexicans are going back down south.
What's behind door number 2? You know what I mean? Like the game show prize. It's like,
look.
Elaborate on what that means. When
I lived in Houston, right? Okay,
pretty close to the border.
I was. Yeah, it feels like Mexico
34% Hispanic.
Yeah, when I lived in Houston, I was working with an illegal alien, and he
bless his little illegal heart.
Well, he was from where was he from? El Salvador. Well, anyway,
bad place.
Yeah, well, this guy, he was a nice guy, but
highest crime area in the freaking world.
Oh yeah, MS-13. But anyway, me and this cat got into an argument because he got into my face and he was telling him about how he got this gold card. See, in Houston at the time, they would give all of these people coming across, they would give them free hospitalization with this gold card. So my point of that is all they would have to do is stop giving.
Thank you.
Stop employing and stop giving. The people, the free
we got some
stuff.
common ground here, brother.
That's all they got to do.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that because they want to bring the country down.
Keyword they. So we need to define, like I said before, who's we, who's they, and what's the truth, brother?
They is the central banking system.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know about this digital monetary system. I like cash, bro. Because when you got cash, you got a gun in your hand, and everybody knows who they are. But I think the system that you're talking about is going to be this cashless system. It's going to be this international global society, insurance, doctor visits, blah, blah, blah. And I think that's what these Democrats are trying to do, whereas I'm not down with that. I'm about a revolution when it comes to that. Because what you just said scares me. And I don't want to be part of that. I want to build me a wall around my house and say, if you ain't on my team and you ain't did what I had to do to get here, then you got to go.
Yeah, no doubt. When we come back, I want to bring Caleb on and get his take on all of this. And look, I want to say something real quick. Oh, yeah, Caleb's awesome. Look, I want to say something real quick. You know, you was talking about a wall. Trump keeps throwing up this wall, and I know it's just noise.
Charge him $2 to get in the country. That'll pay for it.
Here's the deal. I've listened to Border Patrol agents. They've said, look, The places where we have walls, they just bring ladders.
All you need is more agents. Give them guns, but bigger bullets.
They're not going to, the agents aren't allowed to do their jobs. Anyway,
They will be if Donald Trump gets elected. Mark my words, bro.
All right, we'll see. I hope you're right. Ladies and gentlemen, you listen to Battle of New
Planes,
Orleans.
trains, and buses. That's how they getting out of here.
You listen to Battle of New Orleans Radio right here, 990 AM, the home of the First Amendment. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back.
We gon' fight until we broken. You know this is not a game. We gon' rise above the suffering, struggling in the pain. Cause our hearts are full of love, so there's nothing we can't attain.
Ooh-wee. Hey, David, that smell good. What you eating on?
Man, I'm eating on some shrimp I got from J&N Big Easy Seafood.
Man, I had to get me some of that.
Yeah, bro, they specialize in the delivery, catering of 20 pounds or more boiled or live shrimp, crawfish, catfish, crabs, frog legs, and much more.
And how do I get in touch with J&N's Big Easy Seafood?
Just call them up. Call 985-640-8822. That's 985-640-8822.
Whether you're in the real estate market to buy, sell, lease, or looking for someone just to manage your properties, look no further than Paula Bourne with Plantation Properties. She has 34 years experience and is an expert of all of the latest programs available to homeowners. She has been my trusted realtor for years now. So please call Paula Bourne with Plantation Properties at 504-858-9293. That's 504-858-9293. Renovations Your Way. They renovate to fit your needs with complete customer service from start to finish that goes way beyond the job. With over 20 years experience, and they are fully insured, and they support the Battle of New Orleans Radio to unite the metro area in the fight for liberty.
Visit us on the web at renovationsyourway.com or call me, Daniel, at 985-402-5916. That's 985-402-5916. renovationsyourway.com. Mention you heard about us on Battle of New Orleans Radio and receive a 10% discount.
Does your house have a clogged up toilet, faulty electrical wires, or AC or heater just isn't blowing properly? Well, call Herman with Superior AC, Electrical, and Plumbing at 985-781-0418. Also specializes in new construction and covers the whole New Orleans metro area. So please, call our friend Herman with Superior AC, Electrical, and Plumbing at 985-781-0418. That's 985-781-0418.
As the corporate media dies, MetroNow.com and TheDailyResistance.com continue to give you a decentralized and independent take on the latest current events as well as historical reference to help you wade through the propaganda of the prostitute media. Our mission is to inform the people of New Orleans about the issues of freedom, health, world events, and much more so that we as a community can thrive in the 21st century. Only with an informed public will we truly be free and independent. So take a look at MetroNow.com or TheDailyResistance.com as your independent news source. Enjoy fresh fruit grown in your yard. JohnnyAppleseedTrees.com delivers and installs fruit trees and fruiting vines to your home or condo. Proudly serving Kenner, Metairie, and New Orleans. Apples, apricots, blackberries, citrus, figs, grapes, peaches, pears, persimmons, plums, and raspberries. All the trees and fruiting vines are grown right here in South Louisiana. Check out the Fruit Tree Guide for more information and visit JohnnyAppleseedTrees.com today. It's a great time to plant. JohnnyAppleseedTrees.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. You're listening to Battle of New Orleans Radio. I'm Nathan Lawrence and all my great co-host Jerome.
Yeah, with the mighty Pantera rocking years right now.
That's right. We got Caleb Hitt in Ohio. We got Miss Baby Doll in studio, and we got Anthony on the control
Rocking the
dials.
balls,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right. Look, I brought something up, and I want to tell. I know we've been all over the spectrum and the map,
covering all the bases.
Yeah. Before I bring Caleb on, I get his take. I want to cover this real quick. Look. My wife found this. This was on KATC.com. This is Channel 3 from Lafayette. Baton Rouge shooter identifies as ex-Marine who left long online trail. That is the title of the article, if you want to find this. Okay, look, it says, CNN, and I think I read this earlier, but I want to connect it. CNN found the email address linked to Long, showed he was a member of a support group in an organization called Freedom from Covert Harassment and Surveillance, whose mission is to help those marginalized and abused by remote brain experimentation and remote neural monitoring of entire human's body. You know,
I heard you, but give that to the layman. Talk to me at the water cooler right now.
It's a mind control advocacy group. And why did I think that was so important was because in 2013, Aaron Alexis who was working. That was the Naval Yard shooter. He had special clearances in Washington, and he was actually working on microwave ELF systems. ELF means extremely low frequency, and this is something, the technology that's been around that came around after World War II, during the heart of the Cold War. The Cold War. In the early 50s. Matter of fact, the Soviets really perfected this. Matter of fact, Alan Dulles, who was the head of the CIA, actually gave a speech at Princeton in 1953 and said that this new modern warfare was this microwave weapons that the Russians had, and that this is what we're looking at. So he admitted this in 1953. In front of and you can go read his speech. So the people that think this isn't true or it couldn't happen.
Wasn't a lot of media back then. You didn't have Facebook. You didn't have Twitter. You didn't have all these internet sites. So who would have been able to hear it,
Absolutely. So look, Aaron Alexis was working with these microwave programs, and he was in touch with the same advocacy group that the Baton Rouge shooter was in touch with.
What's the significance of this advocacy group? Is this a bunch of people who are of like mind, or they were in the same program? Why would they have an advocacy group, and who would be part of it?
Because, look, they erected towers. Here's one small part of it. During the Cold War, they erected towers all over this country.
Is this why I got autism?
Yeah, maybe. They erected these towers all over the country, and that people that lived by these ELF towers experienced all kind of things. They experienced anywhere from headaches to believe they had voices inserted into their heads.
Right.
And I mean,
maybe a couple of tumors or 3.
All kinds of crazy stuff. And look, you can look this up. This isn't me saying this. There's congressional reports on this. I mean, look, for people that don't think this is possible.
Had it been today, everybody would know, but very few people know. It's seeped into your knowledge at this point. But
right. And look, if people don't believe this, just go look up some other crazy stuff. 1975, Frank Church, in the church hearings, he pulled out the heart attack gun.
What?
Yes, the CIA had a heart attack gun in 1975. That
I pointed that at you a few times. Anyway, it's just a real weapon.
Yeah, no doubt.
A CIA weapon.
Yeah, right. And they were using, I think, sea urchin poison in there, and it showed up as a heart attack. They were showing this in 1975 on the Senate floor. So look, they've had all these crazy weapons.
I was watching Scooby-Doo at that point. I mean, this is some heavy stuff that nowadays you'd be getting at. But look, Nathan, let me tie this in a little bit. You're talking about this stuff that you mentioned before. You're tying it all in. How does that tie in with happening with Dallas and Baton Rouge with the scripted news and these people who are committing these crimes being actually from our government programs and what so it's not a lone wolf, so it's actually a big kind of like, I don't want to say conspiracy, but a big kind of like something going on.
It is everything's there is a giant conspiracy. That is an open conspiracy.
I want to mention the word Lucifer right now because I didn't want to bring it there, but there's something going on. That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
In 1921, the Rockefeller Foundation started the Lucius Trust. The Lucius Trust. Lucius means Lucifer, and they put out print. They put out books. So these people
it's just not a cat in a Walt Disney movie.
No. These people are Luciferians. Look, we got a phone call. We got Phil on line too. Come on, Phil.
Hey, great show as always. Good evening, brother and sister, Christian American patriotic hostages. Very, very soon, at least 3 Baton Rouge police officers will be laid to rest. At last word, Officer Nicholas Tiller, 41 years of age, and an 18-year-old veteran of the Baton Rouge Police Department, was in critical condition and fighting for his life on life support. Welcome to Barack Obama's orchestrated and escalating zombie thug apocalypse. In his own words, he said, "You ain't seen nothing yet." And I believe he's right. They're coming after us. Zombie thug murderer Gavin Long, a 29-year-old and longtime follower of Louis Farrakhan, man.
He was part of the Nation of Islam.
Yeah, and the Nation of Islam brutally murdered at least 3 Baton Rouge police officers and attempted to murder at least 3 other Baton Rouge police officers. At this point in time, Baton Rouge police officers Matthew Jello, Frank Garofalo, and Montre Jackson are deceased. In addition to this, Officer Nicholas Teller is in critical condition on life support and fighting for his life. I urge your prayers for this man. I also urge you to wake up, stand up, rise and rise up. I want you to bring the mind of Jesus Christ to the full arm of the Lord. I want you to rescue the innocent and defend the helpless. I want you to stand in every gap and watch every wall. I want you to help the police and turn in unedited videos. I mean, don't edit the video or the audio.
Give it to them raw like Soldier Slim.
They're framing our police. I want everyone listening to remember this. America's policemen are America's first line of defense against domestic criminals and terrorists, and America's last line of defense as we're being invaded by foreign invaders from across the border. Wake up, America.
Thank you. Nathan, we're going to get into that after the break, brother.
That will fight to the death for our country.
Thanks, Phil. Appreciate
Phil's in the
it.
house. Say, bro, this dude been calling you since you've been having the show.
I love Phil. He
is a great caller.
I love Phil.
I don't know how much you agree with him, but
I agree with a lot of
All
shit.
right,
Look, we'll talk about when we get back. Listen to Battle of New Orleans Radio. Look, Caleb, I know you haven't got to say anything. Please, we're bringing you into the conversation when we come back.
Ooh-wee. Hey, David, that smell good. What you eating on?
Man, I'm eating on some shrimp I got from J&N Big Easy Seafood.
Man, I had to get me some of that.
Yeah, bro, they specialize in the delivery, catering of 20 pounds or more boiled or live shrimp, crawfish, catfish, crabs, frog legs, and much more.
And how do I get in touch with J&N's Big Easy Seafood?
Just call them up. Call 985-640-8822. That's 985-640-8822.
What are you doing to stop traffic? When your business is ready to wow the pants off customers, visit Sir Speedy. We produce quality signs, posters, banners, and more that are just a trick for trade shows, promotions, events, and product launches. Whether you're taking it to the street, the floor, or the counter, bigger is always better. For more information or to get a quote, go to SirSpeedyNewOrleans.com.
Jobs may change, but your retirement dreams don't have to. Roll over your retirement accounts from former employers into an Ameriprise IRA to help make your retirement dreams a reality. Call Ralph Leopold today at 504-322-2975. That's 504-322-2975. Office is located at Suite 1620 in the Galleria, Metairie, Louisiana. Ameriprise Financial Services, Incorporated. Member FINRA and SIPC. Ameriprise cannot guarantee future financial results.
It's Jeff Carrere, host of Ringside Politics. I'd like to introduce WGSO General Manager Richard Tate.
WGSO is locally owned and operated right here in New Orleans. We believe in cultivating local talent and emphasize local programs. If you have an interest in hosting your own program, we have some prime spots available.
Thanks, Richard. Folks, take advantage of this great offer. Email me at jeff@wgso.com or call me at 504-669-6076. Come fulfill your radio dreams at WGSO.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm Jeff Palermo. 15 people signed up to replace David Vitter as a U.S. Senator as qualifying for that seat began today. Democrat Caroline Fayard was one of the first people to file and says the public needs someone in Washington who can resolve the division that's ripping our communities apart.
The federal government needs to be a partner with local law enforcement and local communities in order to facilitate conversations and provide adequate resources so people do not get into situations where there's tragedy on both sides.
The State Department of Revenue reports they don't have tax credits to hand out for those who use solar power as they've reached their limit based on legislation passed in 2015. President of Solar Alternatives, Jeff Canton, says this means around 2,000 households will not get this credit now.
When the law was changed, the terms of it did not account for people that had already installed that year, up to the first half of the year. All the funding that had been set up in the program for following years was quickly gobbled up.
Louisiana Radio Network.
At AT&T, we believe that access to affordable home internet brings you incredible opportunities. You can enjoy the power to explore a digital world of possibilities and connect with family, friends, and the things that matter most. That's why there's access from AT&T. If a member of your household is a SNAP participant, you may qualify for home internet at a discounted rate of $10 a month. No commitment, no deposit, no installation fee. Plus, get an in-home Wi-Fi gateway at no extra cost. Call 1-855-220-5211 or visit att.com/aware to learn more.
SNAP refers to the Federal Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Pricing excludes tax. Service will include a monthly data allowance depending on the type and speed of service you receive. If you exceed your monthly data plan allowance, you will be automatically charged $10 for each 50 gigabytes of data usage in excess of your data plan, even if less than 50 gigabytes is used. For details about data allowances, go to att.com/internet-usage. Wi-Fi enabled device required. Other restrictions apply.
Hi, Eric Asher, host of Inside New Orleans. For the best interviews in New Orleans radio with the newsmakers and the newsbreakers, join me 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on 990 WGSO.
This is David Jeremiah inviting you to join me here on Talk Radio 990 every weekday at either 5:30 or 6:30 a.m.
Hello, this is Coach Alan DeRitter, your host for Monday Night Football, your voice for youth soccer 5 years now and running on WGSO. I'm also the head boys soccer coach at De La Salle High School in New Orleans. These are exciting times on the Avenue. Our head football coach, Ron Manali, won Coach of the Year. Our wrestling team took the state championship. Our basketball team are undefeated district champs. And our band director, Duncan Prey, was named Band Director of the Year. Curious why? We'll schedule your spend a day at DeLaSalleNola.com or call us at 504-895-5717.
Grace at the Greenlight gives homeless men and women the options they need to strengthen their independence and make positive changes in their lives. This year alone, Grace has provided over 5,000 meals, thousands of bottles of water, and united 47 homeless individuals with their families. To find out how you can help, call 504-239-4544 or visit graceatthegreenlight.org. Grace would like to thank the following sponsors for their support: McMath Construction, Christ Church Cathedral, Perrier and Lacoste, McGee School, Fallberg Private Wealth, Capital Business Solutions, Oral and Berry LLC, Fat Bankers Social Aid and Pleasure Club, Emery and James Limited, Kushner LaGraze, and First NBC. Join us in helping make a difference in the lives of the local homeless community. Visit graceatthegreenlight.org.
Hello, race fans. This is Richard Long, host of Race Talk with Big Easy Motorsports. Join us Friday evenings from 7 to 9 here on WGSO 990 AM, WGSO.com.
Get locked and loaded.
You know, they tell us that we're fighting ISIS, yet we've been funding them the whole time.
That everybody on Capitol Hill works for you.
That's right.
And it's a very rare breed. Leadership is a rare commodity, and it's born. It's not made. It's an innate characteristic.
The State Department knew for 10 days before Benghazi was going to happen that Benghazi was going to happen. The department she ran and oversaw was part of the smuggling of the weapons.
And so I said, you know what? I need to give up television.
It's the Battle of New Orleans radio show on WGSO 990 AM.
Every Wednesday night starting at 7 p.m. Central.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. You're listening to Battle of New Orleans Radio. Look, that was a great promo. Great job, baby doll. In that
Where's
promo.
Caleb at, bro?
Where you at, Caleb? How you doing, bro?
I'm doing pretty good.
All right, Jerome's got some questions for me and you.
All
He's
right,
gonna
Caleb,
throw out.
I'm just gonna put them out there. Y'all give me some short answers. More than one shooter in Dallas?
I think yes. They killed him. Yes, more than one shooter. More than one shooter in Baton Rouge as well.
There you go, Caleb.
I would probably definitely agree with that.
Okay, gentlemen, is there any significance to the Dallas shooting that the Rothschild Bank was right in the middle of all of that, like on the same block?
Well, look, the Rothschild Bank, the Rothschild are connected to everything. It's like
Could have been any city.
It's a trickle down deal by the Federal Reserve System. You know, they control the currency. They control our tax. Our tax dollars and the interest. So they basically want to keep us in these wars and this ramped up police state, because then they control us. So I mean, look, one way, shape, or form, yeah, I think it's all connected. Go ahead, Caleb.
Caleb, all the way from Ohio.
No, even I know I like to quote from books, but even Plato wrote about this in the Republic. In the when you have a democracy descending into a tyranny, he talked about a war state, that the ruler is forever stirring up some war,
Perpetuating it, yeah.
Yeah, in order that the people may want a leader. But then the leader ends up getting propped up as the great protector.
Yeah, that's some good propaganda, you know?
Yeah.
So let's get a little racial on here. Cops versus people. Police are not horrible to black culture. I say no.
I think there is, I'm going to say this and I'll give it to Caleb. I think there is a problem with the militarization of the police. There has even been police academy heads, for one example, in New Mexico that had to step down in 2014 because of the militarization and of the police. Look, if you just come out automatically dressed in SWAT gear with heavy weaponry, you're going to agitate the situation.
I'm offended by that as a citizen. Like, oh my God, he's got a taser. Oh my God, he's got a gun. Oh my God, he's got a badge. I'm scared. A baton.
Look, they make you nervous. I don't like the militarization of the police. That being said,
horrible to blacks.
Look,
police in general in this country.
There is some evidence which says, that does show, some blacks are profiled. I mean, it's inevitable but I don't think
my next question is going to allude to that after we talk to Caleb.
All right, look, I don't think it's not, in my perspective, it is not a racial thing more than anything. It's a class issue because people without money,
you're right.
It's hard to fight the system.
Yeah, well, guess what? You got to get it how you live. It ain't my fault you ain't got no money.
Well, but here's the deal. I took a picture in front of the courthouse and it cost me almost $5,000.
Hey, nah. Nathan, I can't say nothing about that. You said it in my mouth, phone.
So I mean, go ahead, Caleb. What's your?
You think police are horrible to blacks in general? I mean, we're talking like specific races here.
Well, I think you also got to consider what kind of neighborhoods we're talking about here also. Like Jesse Ventura was saying just the other day that when he was governor of Minnesota, he had studies that were done, and the results came back and said basically that black people in poor black neighborhoods were basically being profiled. They were being pulled over and with and all this and that. They were definitely some racial profiling going on.
I agree.
Check this question out, Nathan, and for you, Caleb. Is profiling a cultural consequence for blacks?
Look, they've been socially engineered. We've been socially engineered into this
theory.
No, this isn't theory.
Okay, go ahead.
This isn't theory. We've been socially engineered.
Yeah, you said that last week. You're right.
They've been socially engineered with a lot of the music. It's very detrimental.
So you saying white people told them how to sing those lyrics?
What I'm
just
saying
because we put liquors in the neighborhood?
Check this out, Jerome. The people that control the music industry, that run the record label, that sit on the board of directors of these music companies,
I got you.
They also sit on the board of these prison corporations.
I got you.
I mean, there's been books written on this. They weaponize they weaponize the youth and get them ready for their prison. Because it's big business, it's big money. So what you got to say about that, Caleb?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, obviously, we have it seems like America has exponentially more of a prison population than any other country on the planet.
In general, like all races.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Including China.
Okay, so wait. What about the fact that black people commit more crimes percentage of that? So therefore, that's why you're getting profiled. Okay? Don't tell me that they're half innocent and that the criminal justice get against them. I don't know about that. Because I know when I read the Times-Picayune every day, I see the armed robberies and I know who's doing it. You know what? Raise your kids right, partner. Go out there in your community. You think anybody's going to do that in my neighborhood? I don't think so.
I understand what you're saying, but, they are getting profiled, and I think
deservedly so.
Yeah, but
I got a lot of black friends, and I tell them the same thing.
Hold up, we cannot.
All right, I'm holding up.
Look, we cannot. We have to be pro freedom at all levels. Once we are not pro freedom, and we are not pro liberty, and we take that out of the equation, we are no longer America. We are no longer free. So we have to be.
We need to find those solutions you were talking about.
We can't have stop and frisk zones. We cannot profile. It cannot happen. We have to be free again. And like they keep saying, to make America great again, we have to become free again. We are lacking this freedom. We live in this giant surveillance state, police state, and it's really ridiculous.
So what do you do about the crime? I mean, okay, like I mentioned before.
Okay,
is it the parenting? Is it the community? Because, like I said, in my neighborhood, nobody's getting away with walking around with a goddamn gun. And nobody's getting away with people selling crack on the corner. But in the black community, they seem to let that happen right before their eyes. They don't. It seems like they don't tell their kids how to act with the police because the cops do not have to respect you. You got to respect them.
Look, check this out. I agree that, look, it is all about how you handle yourself with the police. And, if you don't handle yourself properly, bad things happen, no doubt. But check this out.
Okay.
They have the rights to walk around with a gun. I have the right to
not unless it's registered to you.
Registered? That's not freedom.
Come on now.
No.
Nathan, you know right now that you cannot walk around this country in this state with a gun that's not registered in your goddamn name.
No, hell no. No. You're not.
That's not fair.
That's
because
not
the police,
true.
If
Okay,
the police
I see where y'all going with this. I didn't know about this. Come on.
If the police are carrying guns, then we should be.
They've
able
been
to carry
trained.
guns too.
Everybody should be trained.
Thank you. So some 15-year-old kids that's robbing people on bikes right now in St. Claude Avenue does not deserve to walk around with a goddamn gun.
Did I say a 15-year-old?
Okay, you said everybody. Okay, my bad. It's not citizen. My bad.
In Switzerland, even the kids in school own firearms.
I think I like that idea. I think I like that idea. Okay. Talk to me, Nathan. Look, educate me, brother. Educate me, brother.
My daughter's been shooting.
Okay.
Yeah,
Talk to me,
absolutely.
bro.
My daughter's been shooting since she was 11. I started shooting when I was 4. The earlier you bring people into a gun culture and you show them the proper way, the proper techniques, how to handle a gun, you show them what happens when they misuse weapons. None of my guns in my house are locked in a safe. My daughter's not running around just getting guns and shooting people.
Are they going to Cane's and shooting a lady there for $300? Are they robbing people for cell phones on Rampart Avenue? Because you taught them right. The black culture is not teaching their kids right. And I'm talking to every black person in America right now. My mama taught me right. That's why the only the crimes that I did were very small crimes. I ain't never robbed nobody with no pistol.
But Jerome, check this out. The main reason that the crime is so bad is because a failed war on drugs that is illegal. It is unconstitutional. And they have to keep this Ponzi scheme of this war on drugs going because they got to keep the system inflated and the system going.
Yeah,
so is it
community stuck in poverty? What
okay,
else are you supposed to do?
I get that.
And guess what?
Yeah.
If it all goes down, I'm going to be doing the same thing as everybody else.
I got you. But why aren't all blacks stuck in poverty? Why? Yeah.
Because I got to survive.
Why do some blacks make it out of there?
It's not a racial thing, though. It's not.
So this is the Illuminati? Because I said Lucifer before. So is this part of all the things we've been talking about on every show? We talk about all of these big
Illuminati.
Well, you said Lucifer, and that's illumination, baby. Hello? I told y'all I was going that way.
I did. Look,
I'll see y'all Sunday in church.
All I was bringing up was the point that the Rockefeller Foundation and the Rockefellers subscribe to Luciferianism. What's your take on that, Caleb? Look, we've been saying a mouthful.
Thank you for being so patient.
Well, I mean, as far as the global elite, like the Rockefellers and so on, they, I believe there is certain occultic elements as far as, even Luciferianism is concerned. I'm not saying I totally understand all that, but I know that going back to, I think there is a large percentage of the prisoners that are in there for non-violent crimes.
85%.
Yeah, that's true.
But
I've been a victim.
There's also a lot more law enforcement officials that are actually in favor of the Second Amendment.
I think so.
People, lawful abiding citizens carrying firearms for their self-protection because they realize they can't get to crime scenes quick enough if somebody's in trouble or needs help.
Check this out. If you own a firearm and you carry a firearm and you're trained, you're a citizen. If you do not and cannot because of these illegal laws, like saying if you're a felon, you can't own a firearm, that doesn't say hold up. That there's nowhere in the Constitution that says if I have a 20 bag of crack cocaine and I become a felon that I cannot protect myself. My life is just as important as everybody else. So once
you paid your debt to society.
Once You no longer have that right to carry a firearm. You're a subject.
And you know what that is? That's the federal government, because the state of Louisiana says a convicted felon can own a firearm after 10 years from his last conviction. But the federal government does not adhere to states' rights like that. And that's where I'm still fighting the Civil War. That's where I think a confederacy is better than a federalism.
Well,
you know?
it's all about states' rights.
Yeah, absolutely. And sovereignty of people.
You listen to Battle of New Orleans Radio. We'll be right back.
It's an attempt to induce a permanent state of fear and paranoia. Why, you ask? So you'll be frightened enough to hand over to the government willingly the few civil liberties you have left.
I can't wait to drop a big old bomb. We're building them all day long. We will make you sign a treaty and fly all your zones. There has never been a reason to stop. That is known. Give me one good reason to drive Armageddon to zone. It ain't about a matter of fact.
Ooh-wee. Hey, David, that smell good. What you eating on?
Man, I'm eating on some shrimp I got from J&N Big Easy Seafood.
Man, I have to get me some of that.
Yeah, bro, they specialize in the delivery, catering of 20 pounds or more boiled or live shrimp, crawfish, catfish, crabs, frog legs, and much more.
And how do I get in touch with J&N's Big Easy Seafood?
Just call them up. Call 985-640-8822. That's 985-640-8822.
Whether you're in the real estate market to buy, sell, lease, or looking for someone just to manage your properties, look no further than Paula Bourne with Plantation Properties. She has 34 years experience and is an expert of all of the latest programs available to homeowners. She has been my trusted realtor for years now. So please call Paula Bourne with Plantation Properties at 504-858-9293. That's 504-858-9293. Renovations Your Way. They renovate to fit your needs with complete customer service from start to finish that goes way beyond the job. With over 20 years experience, and they are fully insured, and they support the Battle of New Orleans Radio to unite the metro area in the fight for liberty.
Visit us on the web at renovationsyourway.com or call me, Daniel, at 985-402-5916. That's 985-402-5916. renovationsyourway.com. Mention you heard about us on Battle of New Orleans Radio and receive a 10% discount.
Does your house have a clogged up toilet, faulty electrical wires, or AC or heater just isn't blowing properly? Well, call Herman with Superior AC, Electrical, and Plumbing at 985-781-0418. Also specializes in new construction and covers the whole New Orleans metro area. So please, call our friend Herman with Superior AC, Electrical, and Plumbing at 985-781-0418. That's 985-781-0418.
Hi, New Orleans. It's Laura from Sobu, and I'm here with Chef Juan Carlos.
Sobu's got Happier Hour. It's 3 to 6 from 3 to 6.
It's bar sips, and snacks, all for $3 to $6 from 3 to 6 p.m. every day.
Laura's got something to please everyone at the bar for Happier Hour, all for 3 to 6 here at Sobu.
And we know you'll want to try a smoky pulled pork taco or any of the other delicious snacks on our Happier Hour menu.
Sobu's Happier Hour every day from 3 to 6, 310 Charter Street in the Quarter.
Complimentary parking next door at the W Hotel.
Enjoy fresh fruit grown in your yard. JohnnyAppleseedTrees.com delivers and installs fruit trees and fruiting vines to your home or condo. Proudly serving Kenner, Metairie, and New Orleans. Apples, apricots, blackberries, citrus, figs, grapes, peaches, pears, persimmons, plums, and raspberries. All the trees and fruiting vines are grown right here in South Louisiana. Check out the Fruit Tree Guide for more information and visit JohnnyAppleseedTrees.com today. It's a great time to plant. JohnnyAppleseedTrees.com.
Well, guess what? If I was in there,
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. You're listening to Battle of New Orleans Radio. This is the last segment. Man, it's been a great show.
You're doing a great job, bro.
Man,
I really appreciate you.
I really appreciate it. Look, I want to say something real quick if I can get this out. Look, I watched a great presentation by Jim Morris today, and he was going back. He wrote a book called, I believe it's The Fourth Reich, and he was talking about how America has become, just this continuation of all these Nazi policies and programs. And, he was going into, in this presentation, how Max Warburg gave $25 million to Lenin and sent...
That's a lot of money in those days.
Oh, yeah, sent Lenin and the Bolsheviks from Germany to Russia. They overthrew Tsar Nicholas and the family, and they put this guy in power. So that just goes to show you Wall Street put the communists in power. Then they had to battle the communists, years later because they become a monster. So then what they do, they go and they find Adolf Hitler in the 20s. And in 1933, there was a meeting with Allen Dulles and others, and they made the decision to give complete power to Hitler and all the funding. And if you start really looking into all of the corporations that were tied into the Nazis and that today, it should just blow your mind. I know that was totally
they were industrial giants at that point. And then here we go as America getting a lot of those Nazi minds and scientists to come over here. Yeah. We got the atomic bomb from it, and a lot of our weapons that we got now, and a lot of the mind control, the CIA stuff came from those people.
Yeah. So anyway, people need to look into
the fatherland is truly the fatherland.
That's right. Wall Street in the West helped, and they helped create communism, and they helped create and fund Nazi. You know what Nazi means? Nazi means National Socialism.
Absolutely, yeah.
So when all of these people who support Bernie Sanders, they really are supporting Nazi.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because that's what it means. Nazi, that's what it stands for, is National Socialism. So what you got, Caleb, what I just said, I know that's totally off base from what we've been talking about, but I think people need to understand the history, because if we don't know the truth, we cannot have freedom. We can't have freedom. We can't have liberty.
Yes,
so what you got, Caleb?
Well, I know Prescott Bush, the grandfather of George W. Bush, he funded Hitler.
$6 million. Hey,
what?
You know what else? You know what else he did, Caleb? Now, not to cut you off, but this is an important point. Prescott Bush got indicted, and he was close to going to prison for all of the bank dealings he had with the Nazis. So you know what he did? He created the USO. The USO is the service organization that goes out to, and they send Bob Hope.
Yeah, they send the girls out dancing and all. Yeah.
That was created by Prescott Bush to keep to keep him out of prison, because he created the USO at that point. They could not put him in prison because it was going to bring It was going to bring to light that we were behind the Nazis.
Wow, we are so lucky that we caught up with them at that point. Jesus.
So I mean, look, it's just all crazy. And look, the West double-crossed Hitler. There was secret deals with Britain.
Yeah, think about the Japanese that lived in this country were interned. You ain't heard about nobody German going into a internment camp.
No, it's really crazy. People need to know their history. We are run by the people that put the Nazis and communists in power.
You're gonna deny the Illuminati right now, right? Because at some point we're gonna have to talk about this, because that's the only thing that makes sense. I mean, you got all, but anyway, that's another time and another place.
Look.
Obviously, we got a lot of work to do to be one America. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't care about a one world loving everybody. I just want to be American at this point, because I'm scared.
Look, bro, the Illuminati was a real organization founded in 1776 by Adam Weishaupt.
Are you speaking the truth right now?
Yes.
About them and we?
Thomas Jefferson was an avid fan. There was letter. You can even read from 1791 George Washington's letters to Congress, where he said, "Look, or it might have been 1789, the rise of the Illuminati that was taking over Freemasonry was very scary,
prevalent at the time."
Right. So I think it did end, but maybe the quote unquote exact framework of the Illuminati ended, but the mindset,
Luciferian mindset,
the mindset of this of socialism lived on. So it doesn't matter if there are.
This is a layman way to put it all.
There is secret roundtable groups that make and push policies, like the Bilderberg Group and Davos. And you have some of these banking cartels. So I mean, it doesn't even matter.
But wouldn't it make more sense? Okay, because we go to the movies, we watch Disney, we watch all these Pixar films and all these little romantic stories that back from the Greeks and back from the Egyptians and all that. Wouldn't it make more sense to say that it's God against the devil, and the devil hates humans because of what happened with creating the angels and all of that, and that the Illuminati, which comes from the word Lucifer, the light of the world,
illuminate.
Yeah, exactly. Wouldn't it make more sense to simplify it as God versus the devil, and that the Lucifer and the devil and all the fallen angels just hate humans so much that's why they fuel the thoughts of the Illuminati to bring humankind down, because you got the Georgia Stones, you got the Gen 21 to depopulate the earth and to just bring humankind down. And I'm not saying this is what I believe, but it seems like people who believe in the Illuminati in that theory, doesn't that bring it more black and white other than all of these different things we're talking about?
All you got to know is they subscribe to a giant death cult, and they talk about in all their writings, and I can spend a week showing them to you about what they say about depopulating the planet. This is the end game. This is the, they believe we are all dumb serfs. So it's time. We're dumb goyim. It's time we stand up.
Nathan's in the house, baby.
And we rise up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and not in a violent way. We have to rise up with information.
Is it okay to be nationalistic and be American and be Japanese and be Chinese and not be all together? Because I don't know if there's any other races in China or Japan, but other Chinese and Japanese. Can America just like slow down and not just take everybody in right now? Do we have to have Syrian refugees? Do we have to have every freaking Muslim coming here who wants to kill us?
They're not Syrian. 5 out of 6 showed they're not
Saudi
Syrian.
Arabian.
It's a lie. They're Wahhabis from Saudi Arabia.
Thank you. That's who ran into the towers.
Yes.
Hired hands.
Yes. So they're not Syrians. Look, and here's a quick article before
Talk
we go.
to me, brother.
Syria appeals to UN after French and U.S. kill over 140 civilians, and we wonder why they hate us, ladies and
I'd
gentlemen.
rather be friends with Syria than fight them.
Look, man, Syria has been fighting ISIS. Assad hasn't done anything to us except, you know what he hasn't done? Accepted the Rothschild banking cartel into his system.
A rebel.
Iran doesn't have a central banking cartel, and neither does Syria. And who do we want to take out? Both Iran and Syria. So
Something's wrong with that, brother.
Look, ladies and
Keep
gentlemen.
talking to the people, bro. We love you. Thank you very much.
Man, I appreciate it. Caleb Hitt, great job. Jeff Berwick, fantastic guest. Look, ladies and gentlemen,
baby doll.
go find the truth. Without truth, we
There
will
is no
not
we.
have the freedom.
Yeah, you're right.
So you listen to Battle of New Orleans Radio right here on 990 AM WGSO. Look, go check out our YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. Battle Nola Radio at YouTube. We'll see you back next week. Got some great guest lineup. Gary King in studio.
Grace at the Greenlight gives homeless men and women the options they need to strengthen their independence and make positive changes in their lives. This year alone, Grace has provided over 5,000 meals, thousands of bottles of water, and united 47 homeless individuals with their families. To find out how you can help, call 504-239-4544 or visit graceatthegreenlight.org. Grace would like to thank the following sponsors for their support: McMath Construction, Christ Church Cathedral, Perrier and Lacoste, McGee School,